Hey everyone, thanks for listening to Sex with Emily. Tonight's show, we have the one and only millionaire matchmaker Patti Stanger in the studio to help give us her best tips about dating, relating, and mating, and how you can finally find your perfect match. Thanks for listening. Okay, let me ask you a question. Are you getting enough? I bet you'd love more, right? Well, Adam and Eve wants to give you more with 10 free gifts. First, you'll get a sexy surprise for her. Second, a specially selected toy for him. And third, a little something you'll both enjoy. Plus, you'll get 6 full-length adult movies on DVD. And number 10, free shipping on your entire order. Okay, so what do you have to do to get your 10 free gifts? It is so easy, people. Oh, and here's an idea for you if you don't know what to get, which baffles me because they have every single toy on the planet and everything on their site will spice up your sex life. But I got to remind you, it is Anal Sex Month. So in the spirit of this month, try the A&E Booty Boot Camp Training Kit. It's a perfect set of butt plugs to ease you into backdoor play. Now on sale for $22. Just go to adamandeve.com, select any one item. It could be an adventurous new toy, sexy piece of lingerie, or anything you desire. Just enter offer code Emily at checkout and you'll get 10 free gifts. Who the hell gives you 10 free gifts, people? Go check out adamandeve.com, select one free gift, 10 free gifts, including free shipping. Don't you hate when people guide you on shipping? They do not guide you on shipping. This is why I love them. Enter offer code Emily. That's Emily at adamandeve.com.
Look into his eyes. They're the eyes of a man obsessed by sex. Eyes that mock our sacred institutions. Bedroom eyes, they call them in a bygone day.
Hey, Emily. You got a boyfriend? Because my man E here, he just got his heart broken. He thinks you're kind of cute.
A girl's got to have her standards. Oh, my.
Do women know about shrinkage?
Isn't it common knowledge?
What do you mean, like laundry? It shrinks?
Can we not talk about sex so much?
Are you kidding me?
Oh my God, it feels so good.
Being bad feels pretty good. But you know, Emily's not the kind of girl you just play with.
You're listening to Sex with Emily. We're talking about sex, relationships, and everything in between. For more information, go to sexwithemily.com. You can check it out. You know what you need to do there? Have you not done this yet? Do you know that we update the website every single day with blogs, videos, instructional posts so you can have better sex and relationships? Because that is what I'm all about. Plus, we do 2 podcasts a week, and it's so easy. You just subscribe right there on the site, and you'll never miss another show again. And they're so easy to listen to. You know what a podcast is? So easy. You're listening now. You can download the podcast app, Podcast One app. It's all a good time. And I'm here with Anderson.
What up, kid?
It's good to see you, honey.
It's good to see you.
It feels like forever.
I'm so excited because it's Anal Sex Month.
I saw you get really excited.
So
there.
pumped about it.
Dude,
yeah.
I know. Okay, let me just tell you something, people. I know that you're hearing anal sex during, and I've talked about it a lot on the show. And I'm not even saying, when I say anal sex, I'm not saying you got to go have anal sex. I'm just saying expand your repertoire. There's so many nerve endings in the anus. Just have some fun playing around. Touch the area. If you've never touched it, have a good time. And it even makes me, like, we're sending out our anal sex newsletter, and I'm like, how many times do we have to say anal sex in the newsletter? You know, so
I feel like that should be.
I do think it is the month. Try something new. What?
One of the main things.
Backdoor play.
A checkbox when you're like on one of those dating sites and you're trying to get matched up with somebody who likes the same. I think that anal should be like towards the top of the list, right?
We'll have to ask Patti Stanger
Long
about
walks
that.
on the
That's something that
beach,
she would
anal
match
sex.
people with that. But so that's what. Oh, speaking of which, though, okay, I am teaching a workshop about it.
Shocking.
Yeah.
About the butt play.
I'm being super anal about it, too, because I'm totally prepping. It's at Hustler Hollywood. It's August 25th from 8 to 10 p.m., and if you've attended my workshops, you know they're...
Demonstrations. Lots of them.
Yeah, live demos.
Yeah.
Are you going to come?
Well, was that a double entendre on
Kind
purpose?
of, right there.
Well
double.
done.
Just like top of the hour, double entendre.
I'll be there.
Okay, here's the thing. So 3 key ingredients to amazing anal play, useful anatomy tips that will maximize your pleasure, massage techniques to build arousal. I know you're thinking, okay, I had anal sex once. It sucked. Someone just shoved it in.
That was a girl that said that.
Yeah, exactly. Because people don't get that, yes, people often do not understand how to perform anal sex right. And they don't use lube. They don't prepare you. If you're interested in learning more, come to the workshop. RSVP to HHRSVP at LFP.com.
Come.
Oh, I hate that noise.
I know.
Okay, one more thing. I will be in New York City at the Sexual Health Expo. You're always saying, why aren't you coming to Why aren't you coming to New York? I'm going to be there. Come. It'll be so much fun. It's top sex educators. I'll be giving the keynote, all the latest and greatest products. And if you want to know more about it, email me, feedback@sexwithemily.com, and check it out on my website. It is September 18th to 20th, New York City. Yeah,
Fantastic.
that's what's going on.
What is September Sexual Month wise?
What would you like? What would you like it to be, Anderson?
I don't know.
We can
Deep
name
Throat
it after,
Month?
No. Blowjob Month? No. Every month is Blowjob Month.
Patti Stanger.
Patti Stanger. Hi, Patty.
Hi.
The
how are
Millionaire
you?
Matchmaker. It's good to see you.
Good, thanks.
Since
Wow,
you're
you've got
all-
applause.
I know. You should
I don't
get
have that
applause.
on my podcast.
Patty's got an awesome podcast at the Sideshow Network, which I was just honored to be on, called the Patti Stanger's Love and Sex Report.
You go to iTunes, you can check it out, and you can hear Emily in all her glory. Talk about her personal life as well as giving you lots of personal tips.
It was fun. I had a good time.
Okay.
Patty, I'm so glad you're here. You've got a lot going on. Patti Stanger, if you don't know, you can find more at pattyknows.com, millionairesclub123.com, and then across the board, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Patti Stanger.
Right.
And so, Patty, we met initially like a few years ago. I've been writing on your website.
You want to say who you met it through?
I was dating a guy.
His name's David Wygan. He's a big dating coach.
He's a dating coach, which...
Yeah. And you can check him out. He's actually my co-host on
Yes.
Love and Sex
Unfortunately,
Report.
why was it? Okay, I'm wondering
They went
why
out for a really long time. So they were
6 months,
So
Patty. For me,
were,
that is a long
That was
time.
a long time. They were this couple that when you went to dinner, they could not take their hands off each other, and you would go home depressed with your boyfriend and go, "What's wrong with us?" And then they broke up. Like, what the fuck?
I said, what's wrong with us? Or no, your boyfriend.
No, when you go out with a couple that doesn't stop touching each other, and they're in the throes of the 3-monther or the 4-monther, and you're going, oh my god, and you're with your boyfriend for a year, and you're like, okay, why aren't we having sex like that, and why aren't we touching each other, and what's wrong with us, and then you broke up. So it's like you bursted my fucking amazing bubble, like that. Maybe this can last forever. And of course, David says, my boyfriend at the time says, they're going to break up. You'll see. And he was right.
He was right. It was 3 months. You can't judge on 3 months of
You
any
went out
relationship.
with like 6 months.
6 months,
and
right.
then you didn't take him home for your weekend to Michigan with your family, and it was his birthday.
It was just like 51st.
It was. Who cares? He's a Cancer. He's sensitive.
You understand? My family, I never see them. They're in Michigan. My brother was getting divorced
bullshit,
that year.
Bullshit. You're 6 months and you take your boyfriend home.
No,
Bullshit. No,
to
you were
Michigan?
ashamed.
Ashamed?
You're ashamed. Or you're ashamed. Either you're ashamed of your life or you're ashamed of him. But neither way, it's shame, shame, shame.
Oh my-
He's got a reputation to uphold, and that reputation is single.
No,
Yeah, well,
not with my family.
Not when she's going to, if you turn, can you imagine in the next 10, 20 years, she turns 50 and she's still single in the nursing home going, hello,
That's
Mr.
not gonna
Orderly,
I'm
will you
not-
give me a butt plug right now?
I need a butt plug.
Keeps falling out.
It's all, Patty, it was a good time. I just moved to LA and I wasn't ashamed. And he's a wonderful guy. You
Okay.
work
Yeah.
with him.
Yeah.
Okay, Patty, but this is what I want to know because I told a lot of people, I was really excited to have you on. Like, but how do you become a matchmaker? I just got to get this out of the way because like people are like
that's
sex. and, like,
not
I've had sex.
something that you inherit the throne from your grandmother and your mother. My grandmother and my mother were known matchmakers in New Jersey, in South Orange, West Orange, Livingston, Short Hills. We went to Temple up in Abraham. It started in Newark. It ended up in Livingston. And, it was 1962-3. My mother's married to an alcoholic who's the hottest guy in town. He looked like... who could I describe him? He was salt and pepper, tall, sexy stud of a man from Brooklyn who, like, landed in Jersey, got a better life, one of those guys. He actually was Donald Trump's insurance guy, Irwin, and he looked like Richard Gere. And so my mother dropped out of college, wanted to get married. My grandmother said, look, you cannot stay around the neighborhood and just get a job at the local doctor's office. You need to get married, Missy. She found Richard Gere, fixes them up. They have me, which I was adopted, so she couldn't get pregnant for 6 years, and it was a struggle on the marriage. She had endometriosis, and it was not something you could cure at the time. And then about 1963, he decides to hit the local bar on a regular basis on Wednesday night and gets caught cheating, and she kicks his ass out. After my mother was great. She had a detective. She found the woman. She set him up. It was like a scene out of a reality show.
Intense.
Like the Housewives of New Jersey got nothing on us. And then finally, my grandmother fixed her up with her second husband. So, 63 was you didn't get divorced in New Jersey.
Right.
70s you did. It was Bill Carroll, Ted and Alice for those who are from my generation, which
my
means
mom
4
did
people that
70,
swung
right.
and got into bed in a famous movie. And my mother was like, if I can do this, so can everybody else. And my grandmother's like, round up the troops. Who's getting divorced? Let's fix the women up. And my grandmother hated when men could find younger women and the women of the ripe age could not find the men. So she was always an advocate. Then I had my aunt in New York who did like the New York scene, and it was like a family of matchmakers. That's the only way I can describe it.
And so you had a sense, like you meet someone
So
and you're
I
like...
was 7th grade dance, loved all the Goyim Christian boys, never dated the Jews.
Me neither.
And
that
there was
one.
a dance at one of the local churches. I said, let's bust it open. It must have been like bar mitzvah season, and I didn't want to go to the bar mitzvah. And me and my girlfriend Sherry Berman bust into the scene. We see all the hottie patatis, tall, blonde, Aryan-looking guys. And I noticed the boys were on one side of the room and the girls were on the other side of the room. And I said, why aren't we talking? And I brought everybody together. She ended up getting a boyfriend from it. And the priest said to me, you have a job, honey. You're going to be a matchmaker. I said, no way. I would never do this. Didn't even know that it existed for a living because you didn't see money. You got chickens, a pot of soup. You know, you got candles for Shabbat. You didn't get like big tchotchke things. And so years later, my parents owned a restaurant. My mother was married for the second time, and I worked in the restaurant. I broke my arm, and I hated working in the restaurant, even though I love cooking. And my mother saw an ad for Great Expectations, the oldest and largest dating service in the country, and said, okay, now you need to go out and try out for it. And it was like 1,000 girls, a sea of Coors blonde women from Fort Lauderdale's with their tits, and I'm the brunette. So I was literally the Cher amongst the Christy Brinkleys, begging this Jewish guy, Mitchell, for the job. And he said, okay, tonight's the night. Fort Lauderdale, be at this restaurant. If you get the most leads, you win. It rained. Only one girl showed up. She cried. There's no women. There's no men here. I walked out A1A with an umbrella. Sports bar to sports bar, took like 50, 60 leads, threw it in his face. Okay, let's go, buddy.
And that's when it
and
started.
That was when. And then I created a system for GE, which is, you know, it would probably be considered Match.com right now. We were pre the internet,
right?
And I said basically you need to have a certain amount of leads per office. There were 50 offices nationwide, and I basically taught them how to do this. And got boyfriends along the way, and I worked nights. I was like a hooker.
Did you date people? All right, I hear you. When you're starting your business, but did you ever meet people? They come to see you, and you're like, "Hey, you're good."
There was this. I always went for the really hot guy and never checked his wallet. Big mistake. So this guy floats into town. A lot of Canadians in Florida, French, Jewish, from Montreal, and he dressed to the nines. And he had a Breitling watch, and he had, you know, a really amazing Versace suit on, and Hugo Boss shoes, and everything that you want in a man. And he was smoking. And I said, something's wrong with him. And he was financially poor.
Right.
But he could fuck me like nothing. 3 years of catnip sex. It's in my book, Become Your Own Matchmaker on Amazon. And the guy, oh man, with his magic tongue, magic fingers. We were doing Cirque du Soleil on the ceiling. And he wanted me to pay for dates, Emily, after about 3 months. So I cut him loose. But I was addicted to the sex. Oxytocin. I talk about it all the time.
It's
and
so true.
I went 3 years under this spell until one day I said no more.
So how do you tell people? Because you often say you cannot marry the person you have the best sex with. I don't believe.
That's bullshit. It was dirty 30s, 30, 33, 34, 35, somewhere around there. He's a little bit older than me. And I was like, God damn that. Did I know what I had? Like, girls, if you're in your early 30s and you are not using it to your
Right,
advantage.
Don't waste the pretty, as they say.
Yeah, because
right?
don't waste the pretty. Because man, you know, it's an engine like a Maserati, and one day you end up becoming a Prius. Yeah. So that's that.
But in your 20s, though, don't you think that people should just kind of date and not get married in their 20s?
I'm a big believer over 30. Saturn. I'm astrology driven, and Saturn return happens at 29, 30, and you're not settled yet. You at 30, you kind of wake up with the light bulb moment and go, okay, this is what I want. I want the house. I want this. I want that. Some people don't want to get married. They don't want to have kids, but they know at 30. And trying to go against, you know, the river, the current, you know, salmon swim upstream. You want to go against it. Basically doesn't work. So you have to be true to who you are. And everybody needs to know that it's not one size fits all. Marriage is not to be end to be all, as my mother would say. She was married 3 times. She'd say, my mother would be like, sweetie, children are overrated. Take lovers and travel the world.
I love your mom.
Trust me on this.
That's exactly it. My mom never, same thing, 3 times married. She said, you got to never rely on a man to take care of you. She said, you got to take care of yourself.
And the thing
now
is,
she denies she said that.
And then my sister marries the billionaire and like has all the money and lives in Long Island. And I was crying all my life to get that. And it was like, why am I different? I became famous. I made a business. Like, I never understood why I couldn't go the traditional route. But when I was growing up in Short Hills, I had every hot Jewish guy living in the neighborhood who had money, and I was like, and I snubbed my nose at them and go, meh.
See, but I
want
was
the
not
poor
attracted to
rock
that.
star.
But see, you have money and you've got it going on.
Yeah.
So
but you don't want
to
take care financially of a man,
because
that's
that's
a big problem. And that the sex goes out the window on that because they start becoming your 6-year-old something. And it's not that they don't want to bang you; it's that you don't want to bang them.
Right?
There's a
you
difference.
Don't respect them anymore. They're not being.
You
the
can't
man.
look. I mean, I don't get wet for somebody who I have to pay for.
No, God, no. Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about some of your dating rules because I did find you have like your commandments that you wrote.
Oh,
like,
really?
Thou shalt not.
Commandments?
You do have commandments.
Okay.
And I found it interesting. You know, there are a few of them that I highlighted here. You got thou shalt return calls in a timely manner.
Yes.
Because there's all these rules. Should you wait 3 days?
Too much competition. Women are outnumbered in the sense that there's too many women and there's not enough men. and we have the internet, and we have Tinder. And with these kinds of devices right now, they can just up you again in 20 seconds. You show that you are professional. Like, you would never not call your boss back for 3 days, right?
Right.
So if you do the right thing at the right time and he, disses you, he's not your guy. But the guys that really want a serious relationship are going to respect you. Say, you know what? It was so nice that you returned my phone call, or you texted me back, or you emailed me when I emailed.
Right.
I really respect that about you. And
people are playing games.
Yeah, I mean, I recently broke up, and my ex-boyfriend and I are still friends. And he went on Match.com, and I said, "What?" He went on 2 dates, 2 different girls, hot girls. I said, "What was wrong?" She goes, "They don't have their shit together like you. You came right back after the first date." I wrote on the internet, "Listen, I suck at typing, and if you want to get a hold of me and ask me out, here's my number." And I don't go back and forth 55 times with the texting, or here's 55 more pictures. You don't get it in the first 5 minutes. See, you don't want to be.
See, that's good that you put that, because I don't like the emailing back and forth. I don't like the texting for weeks. Like, let's just make a plan. Call me. We're done. We're out.
Plan. So Jeff Fetterman, who didn't make a plan, you didn't follow through.
We texted.
So I fixed Emily up with this guy I thought was a great fit. She liked him, he liked her, and then he was in New York and she got busy and they had a couple texts, but then he didn't call her. So here's a tip, guys. Women only fall in love between their ears, not their eyes. You fall in love between your eyes. Do not put that on us. So we don't like texting. We have to hear your voice, lock on, get off the phone. We take our little magic wand out. We visualize. How many times have you gone to sleep? You can't go to sleep at night and you're just like imagining,
right?
If that or DTV porn, it's
whatever,
one of the two.
You know
right?
what? Whatever works for you. It's
Right.
true. But yeah, you're right. I feel like it's almost worse with the texting. I forget. I get busy.
But here's my
I know
thought
I should
on
let
that.
him know.
You need to, if you don't like texting, calling, emailing, whatever it is you don't like, your form of communication, and the one you do like, you need to let the guy know. Most men are stupid, right? Right over there?
Yeah, we're pretty dumb.
Yeah, and they don't know what you want. They're not mind readers. They're not
Right.
psychic.
But do you think that anybody knows what they want? Because I feel like one of the
If you don't know what you
problems-
want by now, you're in trouble.
Okay, well, I'm not saying me. I'm saying a lot of people, we always hear they can't find love. It's either because they're not prioritizing it, or they're like, I just don't know, so I'm going to date a bunch of people.
Well,
and so what are the
there are
tools that
those-
you give people to help figure out what it is that they want?
Well, there are those who don't get choices. Those who are sitting on the sidelines and they don't get a lot of choices. And when the number comes up, he doesn't have money, he doesn't have a job, I'll take him. And that's the problem. They don't get choices. There are those that get too many choices and don't appreciate their choices, and basically diss this one and diss that because they're too busy. So you want to find the middle of the road, the balance, if you will. You want to be in the ring. Okay. And you want to be able to vet various people, but also qualify your buyer and spend time getting to know someone. Don't give it away for a song. Don't give your monogamy away, because your monogamy is your virtue, and that is what the man is buying. They don't know this. It's biological since caveman era.
Right.
They don't want to know that you slept with them on the first date like you slept with 50 other men.
Right. So don't sleep together. You have very strict rules.
I think
don't sleep.
you get to know the kissing, the touching, the fondling. Just don't go in or in or in.
I agree. Don't rush it.
Don't rush it. And so when you realize we like each other, which, the last time I dated was David, we waited 6 dates, so about 6 weeks, because I had traveled in between. And so we were at the 6 weeks, and he's like, he can't take it anymore. He's at the point where he's going to go back. He was at the internet. He was going to go on it. We had dinner plans. He came over a little bit earlier, and he had the talk with me. He didn't want to see anyone else. He's an old school kind of Laguna guy. And I said, fine. And we hit it. And then we were late for dinner with our friends. And the key is that we built up a crescendo, and that night was fabulous because of that.
Right.
And so I think it's important to know who you're sleeping with and get to know. You spend more time buying a car and a mortgage than you do that.
It's so true, because then oftentimes with women, especially, we get attached. We have sex too quickly, and then we're just attached to the sex, the oxytocin,
Right.
and then we're like, you
can't fall in love with a loser.
I would say you can't see the red flags waving in the distance when you've got this oxytocin that's attached you to someone. It's not healthy.
Right.
So can you talk about also? So, okay, here's the thing I want to know. When people always talk about, well, we have a lot in common. That's how we get along.
Yeah.
Or we have this. How important is it we like the same music?
Opposites don't work out for the long run. They're great at attracting. I just came out of an opposite relationship where we were very opposite. As I say, he was morning, I was night. It's attractive in the beginning, but about 6 months in, you start to pick on each other for their opposite problems. And so I don't recommend it. I think it's better to have a familiarity. We came from the same hood, the same neighborhood. We went to the same school. We have the same background, same religion. Things that you can gluify the situation and bring you together. And if it's not that, it's hobbies and interests. By the way, they have statistical studies that say if you like 2 or more things together, okay, then you actually have a larger chance of lasting
Netflix
in the long
and
term.
eating ice cream and stuff.
So yeah, it could be anything. I don't care what it is, but the key is like if you like skiing and he doesn't, but you teach him to ski, it can become your commonality.
You can find some
and
stuff
then
that
the
you
other
like.
thing is a sense of humor. Can they make each other laugh? Which, by the way, you can't buy.
You cannot.
Not buy that. That either is gift given. If you don't like his jokes and she doesn't like yours, you're in trouble.
And he's already driving you crazy, and he's not going to. Yeah, that's
Can
bad.
that, can that be one of the things?
Yeah. What?
One of the things in common?
Yes.
Is sense of humor?
That you both make each other laugh.
Right.
Yeah. My parents, my mother's third marriage, it was all about laughter. He didn't make a lot of money. She had a lot of rich boyfriends prior to that. She said, I went with Mel because he was the laughter and the light of my life. He just made her crack up till the day she died.
And that never,
yeah, and that helps.
That
helps.
Help.
She had a sense of humor that she just found. And by the way, it makes you feel sexy when you laugh. I told Jimmy Kimmel once, I was on his show, and I said, it was the day Sarah Silverman broke up with him. And they were all afraid to put me on because they thought I was going to bash him. It was the height of my early career and fame on network television. And I said, listen, I'm not like that. And I flirted with him, and I just said, in the break, you're sexy funny. You can't find guys like you. If I found guys like you, I would have married you.
Right.
And he's like, you're out of your mind. I'm like, no, Adam Carolla.
Funny,
some people think Jerry Seinfeld's like that. Dennis Leary, one of my favorite, sexiest, hottest comedians. I would have fucked, him silly and sucked him to death.
You want funny because that's not going to go anywhere. They might lose the hair, but they're always going to make you laugh. And it's going to be, if that's important to you.
But sometimes they get sexier with funny. They're smart. They're edgier.
Exactly.
I was just watching, I never loved Jerry Seinfeld. I never thought he was cute or anything. My sister knew him from the neighborhood in New York, and, she saw him once in a while at the Korean salad bar. And I said, I watched Comedians Cars recently, and I thought, wow, he's really intelligent. He's really smart. I never saw that side of him on Seinfeld. So, you always see different sides of the street. Chris Rock, to me, is brilliant.
I know. I love the funny. I love the funny and smart. We always say we want tall, funny, and smart, my friends. I get sorry about the tall. It's true.
Yeah. Dane Cook, you're still single, baby. Call me.
Yes, right. You can fix them up. So what do you think, then, are the biggest roadblocks today this is a big question, but that singles are facing finding someone? What are we doing that's
I think they're like passing ships in the night. Being in the right place at the right time, picking one and getting off the market. Some people have too many choices and just keep going ADD, and like judgmental. The judgy aspect is so fucking hard. I haven't dated since my breakup because I just don't want to be judged. And everyone thinks I'm the show. They watch Matchmaker and they think that, she screams, she yells. But I'm like, I'm really a bitch. No, I'm really not.
How do you deal with that? Because people know you're famous from television. They've seen like, oh, is she like, but you're not like I've hung out with you. You're not like that. Like, you're like, she's nice. Like, she's cool. You're not like that.
I date mostly surfer sports guys. And David was a baseball player, and his family was like, from the Oakland A's, and he played for Fullerton. And it was like one of those things where he didn't watch Bravo. So he didn't know who I was until his daughter told him like about the fourth dating. And people came up to us in the restaurant, and he was like, why are people asking me for dating? I'm like, okay, well, I'm on this show. And so it was one of those. So I date athletes. I love athletes. I just love, or coaches, or people who like sports. But I'm obsessed with surfers. Like, I just love surfers and skiers.
Do you surf?
No. And
so
I want to learn.
Interesting. So maybe
I
they'll teach you to surf.
I live on the beach, and I just I watch them. I'm obsessed with them.
Okay, but this is so interesting that you guys just broke up, and he did amazing. First of all, David does amazing headshots. If anyone in LA needs headshots,
right. DavidKrausPhotography.com if you want to get your headshots
best
done.
I've ever had.
And really
P.S.
affordable.
He's the best I ever had, Patty. I hope it doesn't come out
free.
wrong.
He retouches for free.
He does the best headshots I've ever had. But I love that you recently broke up, and he's showing you his match profiles. Dates.
We're friends.
That's really healthy.
I mean, he wasn't happy about the breakup. It was kind of my choice. And the truth of the matter is I need to be in a different place at a different time.
Okay.
Like he had his family. He was married. He had 2 dogs in the yard, and like he's in a different place. I would like those things. I'd love to be a stepmother. My fantasy is to find a man with kids, and
But he has kids.
Yeah, but it was different. Right. They were grown up, and he was in a different direction than I was going.
But I'm glad that you guys
he
are
hated
friends.
my job. He hated what I did. He hated the entertainment industry.
You need someone who supports.
Yeah, he
that's
didn't
the
like what I
judgmental.
did for a living. He didn't like what I did.
Well,
for a
that
living.
would be to me a deal breaker. If
He didn't
someone's
like
stop.
people in our house. I work out of the home. He didn't like any of that stuff, so it was like a nightmare.
That would make me crazy.
Yeah, and he likes quiet. You got to go to bed at 9:00 every night. You can't stay up late. I mean, he has rules.
Do you like you
He
talking?
gets up at 5 and he goes to the gym. He's very steady Freddy. He's good. He doesn't like to go to the movies. He doesn't like to go out,
So you didn't have a lot in common.
No,
But you
it
probably
was
had great
like
sex.
we were romantic in the beginning. You get me if you give me romance. I'm kind of a sucker for romance. But, I like a guy in the business. I like a guy who's like, at the top of his business and knows where he's going and, is confident.
That's where you're at now, too. So you wouldn't want someone that wasn't where you're at.
I want to build like an empire with somebody. I want to be like the cookie to the, I don't know, what's the other character's name? So Cookie to Lucius or whatever from Empire.
Yeah.
I want to build an empire with somebody and make it like, ours
You want to do the
together.
business thing.
I want a partner, in crime. I really do.
Okay. And how are you dating right now?
I haven't dated one person yet. I haven't done
That's
anything.
what we've been. Okay,
I've
we're
been
gonna go out.
people have sent me people that were not right for me, and this is how you know you're in a
You're
good.
like, I'm a matchmaker. Don't even start because
no,
I know
no,
this
no,
isn't
that's
right.
not true. I don't fix myself up.
No, I'm saying you don't, but you're like, I already know this isn't a good match.
Very
for me.
few people are me when it comes to matchmaking. But
No
what
one
I
is.
say is that, I get people. They send me people, and in the old days, I would have taken any date, gone on anywhere, and just given it a chance. Now I qualify them, and I know if I'm not going into the house, it's not a good fit. It's not being judgy. It's just my time is precious.
Go into the house? What do you mean?
No, if I don't go out of the house for the date, it's because my time is precious, and this person was around. Somebody said to me, "I've got the perfect guy for you. He's 6'3", he's drop dead gorgeous from Manhattan Beach. He makes no money and he's uncircumcised." I'm like, "See, I don't want to be you."
Why?
It's like, why would I?
Oh,
want?
no money, right?
So he's
but
hot.
Surfer,
Who cares?
How many
Like-
surfers are going to be rolling in the dough?
How is that guy not circumcised? He sounds like
No, he was some
he's
sport.
definitely
He was not
circumcised.
circumcised. My friend went out with him for years. He wasn't a surfer. He was
Okay.
a sports guy.
Okay.
And by the way, surfer. We're talking about surfer weekend surfers. We're not talking like Laird Hamilton here. Although if he were single,
Although that
damn,
wouldn't be so
that would
bad.
be. That's
Right.
my type. But anyway, yeah. And I just said no, thank you. And so then somebody else called me and asked me out, and I said no, thank you. And it's like when it's a good fit.
You can just tell without even having to meet
If
them.
you are really in tune with who you are, I spent more time this last year in meditation, hypnosis, subliminals I was listening to. I have a new website called attractingasoulmate.com where you can get these things that I was working. And it slowed me down. It made me take a beat. I used to be in heat and look all the time when I was single. And I'm like, no, when it's
the best.
when
See,
it's
you
right,
just got
it'll
a
come. It'll
relationship
come.
too. So I think maybe you're not even really. You go on a few dates in here. There, maybe you're not really ready yet.
No,
you know?
I'm ready, but I'm ready for the one. I'm not ready for riffraff. I've done enough duty dating, as Pat Allen would say, for a lifetime. I know how to fucking date. Okay? I know how to mate. I want to get married. There's a big difference.
Okay, I got you. So you're ready. You want to get married now.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, when we come back, we want to talk about more your dating rules, a little bit of sex here, and dating in the online world. But we got a prick. We have a prick. Actually, speaking of pricks, I'm going to tell you about intensity. Okay, this is the deal. Patty, you know about Kegel exercises, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
So they're really important, okay? And I talk about products all the time that will improve your sex life. And now I've tell you about a product that has changed and improved my sex life. But not just sexually, it also has extreme health benefits. Have you ever been at the gym on the treadmill and thought, it'd be great if I could be eating pizza and exercising at the same time? Or even, God, I wish these push-ups would at least give me an orgasm. Unfortunately, we rarely get to experience pleasure while maintaining our health and well-being until now. You hear me talk about the benefits of Kegel exercises, but how many of us really do them? And even if we do them once in a while, like at a stoplight or waiting in line at the store, you're not doing them correctly probably, and you're not seeing the benefits. But what if I told you there was a product that does your Kegel exercises for you, and it gives you mind-blowing orgasms at the same time, right? That's it. Side effect, causes orgasms. That's probably an exercise routine you might keep up with. I think so. Intensity is a revolutionary, intimate health and stimulation device that takes all the confusions out of your Kegel exercises. Kegel exercises. It was actually invented by a doctor. It resembles the classic rabbit vibe. But let me be clear, this is no ordinary sex toy. It's both a vibrator and a Kegel exerciser. Intensity is the only device that combines pleasure with pelvic floor toning, giving you a workout you can look forward to. It targets your G-spot and clitoris. It uses gentle electrostimulation to contract your vaginal muscles. So you're just like lying there on your bed. It's doing your exercises for you. And if those orgasms weren't enough, it actually improves your overall satisfaction. It tightens and tones your pelvic floor muscles, which is so important for having sex long term. And to find out more about this, it's a game changer. Visit pourmoi.com. That's pourmoi.com. Pleasure with a purpose, people. Check it out. Yeah.
You think a woman could ever get so strong with her kegs that she could actually just snap a penis off? Do you think you guys are getting close?
Yeah, I am actually.
Yeah? Would you like to do that? Would that be satisfying?
I've been a bowling ball and stuff.
The guy pissed you off, and you're like, come on, let's do it. And then you just snapped it right off with
See,
your vagina?
I'm not an angry person like that. I would never want to hurt a man. But maybe they could.
Snap it off
You
and
always
spit
hear
it out?
about some,
That'd be
not
horrible.
always, but we've heard like on Love Line people calling, they're like, my penis broke.
Well, I've heard like women capturing men's penises and like they get stuck.
Ouch, I would never want to do that. Does it scare you? Okay, Patti, this is my question for you. What, I was listening to your podcast with Pat Allen, actually, who I love too. And you were talking to her about a lot of stuff, like the roadblocks people are facing. And you said, we were talking about like best places to meet people of the opposite sex. And you said, well, sometimes it just, I think you said you learned from her. You said, if the fish ain't jumping, you have to move ponds.
Right.
Like
you have to move cities, different cities.
Do you think that's pull geographic if you can't find people in your town? And how do you know?
Well, in New York, there's 5 women and 1 guy. So you better move your ass to the suburbs or you're not going to meet anyone. I mean, statistics are not in your favor. Don't stay there. And, if you want a marriage, a family, and you are more driven for that than your job, like your money is second, then you need to go where the men are.
And where are the men? I mean, you have your Single Girls Handbook. Can we talk about
Yeah.
that? Don't you talk about mapping and where to find people?
SingleGirlsHandbook.com is something that the audience, kept emailing me for. Do you have a coaching program? I had my book. Some people don't like to read. And right now everybody's very, transient. They want things yesterday. So I basically created an audio coaching program, which you can go to SingleGirlsHandbook.com. You can download it. You can put it on a USB. You can listen in your car. That was the whole point. There is a matchmaking map. So one of the statistics we found is that in Breckenridge, Colorado, for instance, it's 11 men to 1 woman, and very wealthy men, oil billionaires. So where do you go? You go skiing.
I just don't like skiing, damn it.
You don't have to ski. You can sit at the bar and have a hot toddy.
Bunny. Right, okay.
Go shopping. But the point of the story is you got to go. If you're a man, you go to the yoga class. It's 90% female with hot bodies.
Right.
You don't have to go to the sweaty one, but you can find a nice one.
So you coach women and you help them find a guy with this program.
Single Girls Handbook is based on statistics, information, the studies. We do a lot of studies every year at Harvard. I mean, Dr. Helen Fisher talks about it all the time. Why him, why her? Great book, by the way. And we really analyze the census. And we look at where the women are and where the men are. And right now, women are making more money than men, but not equal pay for equal dollar, which is so fucked up, by the way.
Exactly.
And so there's more women in college. So you're a guy, you're going to go to school, you're going to more likely find a woman fast and marry her, or you're going to wait 10, 20 years and wait and lose probably the good one that got away.
I don't really. You always think good when they got away, and like, do you regret things? I feel like I don't.
I don't have any regrets, but there are a lot of men that have regrets. I hear more from men than women. Men say to me, "I should have married the one when I was 26, from when I was 35," and women don't usually say that.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is?
Because they don't know what they have when they got it. Because their dick is pulsating at warp speed, thinking that they need to put that
the bigger, better deal.
They have to put the sperm in everyone.
Okay, and it starts to change when men. I mean, because men don't really. A lot of them, especially in LA, right, until later, till 35.
Well, we're not a marriage-driven society here in LA. People live together. They have children out of wedlock. It's socially acceptable. I remember, I'm old, but I remember Murphy Brown, a character on television when Dan Quayle was vice president, and he was putting her down for having a child out of wedlock.
I remember that.
And it was the biggest scandal. You thought the Kardashians, come to town.
Exactly.
And it was like a joke, because now you think back and go, was he insane? He believed in, the married principle of, the moral majority in the South.
It was like that whole nuclear family thing.
Really, like the nuclear family and blended, extended families, different colors, different religions, different remos. I mean, it's just the way it is today. Who knew that gay marriage would pass, right?
I know.
Thank God, and now maybe we would have, equal pay for equal dollar for female human rights, right? So right now, I think what people have to do is prioritize. I'd say get on 3 different websites.
Which ones?
Well, I believe in Match because it's the largest one.
Match.com?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you can take a niche market one. You could go on, like, if you're religious, go on JDate. If you want a farmer, go on Farmers Only. If you're over 50, you go on OurTime.com.
Say it again?
OurTime.com. Then the third one should be a hobby site or an app. So you can either split the difference. You can do the Tinders, the Hinges, the Rajas, which is brand new, which is for celebrities and people in the entertainment industry.
Really? Like you have to be. Well,
let's just put it this way. Someone I know is going on a date this weekend with a very famous celebrity from Raha. I won't out them, but you know who you are. But
like, how do you go? How do you know? What says that you're a celebrity?
This person had a celebrity picture and is that person.
Okay, got it.
And he wasn't shamed about it. And it's very, it's kind of like a cultish Soho House for dating.
I don't know.
There's Ivy Date,
I
which
don't know
is
that
for
I would be a
Ivy
celebrity, but-
Leaguers. There's all different kinds. So you want to find the niche one, your hobby. Maybe you're golfers or us, or you're vegan, or you love dogs. You find the one that's the commonality because you're more likely to meet a person there. However, the statistics and the type of people there would be less than match. But you're qualifying your buyer earlier.
It makes so much. It's like we're saying, you got to find the hobbies. Because back in the day, I would say, well, go out. And people are like, I can't find anyone. I'd say, well, take a class, do something you like, and this way you can just find a website that hones in on
There's
it.
a great website that I'm a big fan of called Meetup.com. Meetup is strictly events all across the nation and trips for people that want to meet single people, and based on wine enthusiasts, ski enthusiasts.
There's so
it's
many
like
things
whatever
people
it
can
is.
do. I think people are just like they don't.
I
Really,
mean,
they say they want to date,
right.
but they're not doing anything to change
And there's
their
even
life
a camp
to
for
find
singles called Club Getaway in the Berkshires.
I love camp.
And it's in Kent, Connecticut. It's right
Camp
where-
was my favorite time of my life.
And so these people go away for the week, and they used to do the whole Catskill thing back in the day with our parents, and
Yeah.
we'd meet up. Our parents would go to one side of the hotel, and we go to the other side of the hotel, the single kids. But now there's a Camp Getaway.
That's
So
so smart.
you really need to research. I'm also an advocate of rugged hot men go on these whitewater rafting trips in the back of Men's
This is
Health.
what you should be doing.
Yeah, well, there you go. I don't
You
have
can
time
do it.
right now, but yes,
See,
I would.
know it's making the time. It's so
It's not
hard.
the time. It's like I'm switching networks right now. We're going to a different network.
I know.
So.
People are missing you
Yeah.
on Bravo, but I'm sure you're moving to bigger
Don't worry.
records.
We're going to be in bigger, better
I know.
water. You're going to be really excited about
I had
the
to
project.
watch you when I was on Bravo because they were like, "Oh my God, you got to watch it," because I hadn't watched it.
And I chose to leave the network. They wanted me back. Thank you very
I'm
much,
sure they
Bravo.
did.
But I wanted
You're
to go.
the top
I
show.
wanted
Why
to
would
go
they
in a
not?
different direction creatively, which I really want to bring a new show to the audience. But
I'm
you're going to love
excited.
it. You're going to love
This
it.
is
I own the
exciting, Patty.
trademark of Millionaire Matchmaker for dating and television, and we're going to bring you a fabulous new show that you're just going to be over the moon
So
about.
people don't have to wait too long then.
No, in about a
to see
couple
it.
weeks you'll hear what network it is.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm very excited. No, but okay. Question for you is how do you think that social media has changed the online dating? Because you've been doing this for 15 years.
Well, I
20 years?
mean, I believe that when Zuckerberg made Facebook, I don't understand what he did, because here's the thing. The twins say to him, okay, we're making a dating site for Harvard. Okay, so why didn't he make the site? He made a friend site, and yet he was ripping the girls a new one. Why didn't he make dating for college students? It doesn't exist. So it's kind of sad that didn't happen. But I do believe when one of his friends came to him and said, do you know if so-and-so single? And he goes, I don't know. And he's like, well, why don't we put that up on Facebook? And then now it's the only place you know whether the person's single or not. That's non-dating related. So for instance, Bethany Frankel is supposedly dating Eric Stonestreet. So everybody calls me on the phone and
Who's Eric Stonestreet?
She's the star of Modern Family.
Okay, right.
So she's the star of Housewives of New York City. So
we know
everybody called me up and said, how do you know if they're really dating? And I said, go to their Facebook and see if their status has changed. And they were like, what? Oh, I didn't think of that. And that's the truth. When your status has changed, I just changed mine to being single.
You did? Was there a whole thing? Your personal page?
No, I mean, I was already there. I'm a pretty mature person, But when you change your status on FB, your life changes, because then everybody knows whether or not, how to respond to you. And then if you're single, they're going to contact you. You got pictures up the wazoo.
But what about all the Instagram and all this people?
Well, Instagram, you can't do that.
No,
Instagram,
people are liking you.
Yeah, but
Instagram
Instagram irritates me. I'm on Instagram. I love it to death. But there's these Instagram couples with their perfect lives and their perfect children. I just want to shoot the Abercrombie people. It's like, we're at the picnic today with our perfect strawberries and our perfect little child, and we're wearing our perfect outfits. And I'm like, vomit.
Well, all of it. People
and
say
it's
the more time
curated, and it's one filter, Olivia Palermo. But nonetheless, it's like nobody can live like that. Don't start thinking that these people have fabulous lives and your life sucks, because it's not
people
true.
get depressed. They see people spend more time on Facebook and looking at stuff. They actually get depressed.
Twitter,
because
you're
none
not
of it's
going to
real.
find. I think Twitter's mostly female and gay.
You're not going to
Twitter's
find that.
not really a straight man's society. I believe Instagram is getting more straighter, other than Man Monday. Man Bun Monday. You ever see Man Bun Monday? They all have buns.
Man Bun Monday.
Man Bun
I don't
Monday.
want to see him. To me, if I see a bun, I'm like, oh, I
They're
really should go
hot,
out
though.
with them.
They're hot, though. They're really hot.
Yeah, but never nary a man's bun will make me want to go out with them.
But the point of the story is that I don't really see too many men wanting to talk. They like to take pictures of their cars and their friends
wanna talk.
and their trips, and they don't really want to say very much. So that's why it's a good place for men. Men love to take
Love
photographs.
Instagram, but they love sitting looking at bikini, like Mike during Loveline.
They used to love Facebook, but I think they're gotten away from Facebook. I think they're growing up. It's become really Instagram.
Right, it has.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a question for this. What I can't look at this, Madison. You can't walk up to me in the middle of the show. Okay, so when you're matching people, so this is the thing. What do you think are some of the the problem, like the problems. What do you think people are looking for? Like when women come to you and they're like, we want to find someone. What are the mistakes that they're making? Like, are they across the board?
Well,
there's 3 mistakes that we're all making.
I think the wish list to the floor is the mistake. Like, he has to be this way,
like
way,
75
that.
items.
And it's not like 5 deal breakers, and that's enough. 5 deal breakers, 2 physical quirks, and you're done. Like, you start getting really ripped to the floor. But I will tell you something, a cute little story. So Marnie Nixon, who I just became friends with, who wrote The Girl's Guide to Divorce, was telling me a story about Lisa Edelstein, the star, who I absolutely love you, Lisa.
That's such
love
a
you.
good
She
show.
reminds me a little bit of you. You guys
Really?
kind of look alike.
I like her.
So Lisa was going through a dating drought, and she was sick of dating all these losers, and she finally said, I'm going to make a list. But I'm going to make the list so crazy, a practical magic list, which is so out left field that it can never possibly happen. And one of the things was he lives in Los Feliz. Well, she goes to an art gallery, and there's the guy, and it was everything on her list, and she ends up marrying him. So maybe in her mind, the list works for her. I believe everybody's different. I believe the secret ingredient is to meditate and go internal.
Yeah.
I took transcendental meditation this year. It's not cheap. It's like over $1,000.
I did
4
too.
day of intensive work. I do it twice a day if I can get that second one in. And the truth is, it changed my life. I read Howard Stern and Ellen DeGeneres and Jerry Seinfeld all did it. And a good friend of mine, my showrunner Spike Van Briesen, and we did it together. And it kind of calmed me down. You know, it made me more centered and more focused. And what I think it does is it gives you clarity to know what you want, so that when the loser, shows up, you don't get angry, you don't get mad, you don't have a Sex in the City moment where you're just so pissed off at the world, like Charlotte, like, I've been dating for 100 years and where is he? You don't have that. You're like, no, thank you. I'm going to wait for the next one.
Right, like it is true. Everyone needs those
because
moments of
buses
clarity.
are coming by every 5 minutes, as my mother would say. You just got to pick the right one and get on the right journey.
But a lot, yeah. And I just think, going back to the beginning, a lot of people don't spend time thinking about what they truly, truly want at all ages.
Well, Pat Allen says you should know what you don't want as a woman. I don't always agree with that. I agree with a little bit of both. But gratitude is key. Be grateful for your past relationships. This last relationship taught me how to live with a man. I had never lived with a man. I am so grateful for David for teaching me to be. I was a great stepmother while it happened. I lived with him. I learned how to keep a home and clean and cook and take care of my man and my dogs. And I fucking loved it. The next guy is going to reap me. I am Susie fucking Homemaker with Madonna in the bedroom and Martha Stewart in the nursery.
Wow, you did it all. You learned to cook and all that?
So, I gave him a lot of gratitude for that. And you have to give gratitude for all those past relationships, even the ones that broke up, even the ones that ended poorly and badly. What did you learn from them?
Right, exactly. You have to always do the inventory, because a lot of time, men and women, they jump from one to the next because they're hurting and they want pain.
I think a great analogy would be to take the 12-step program from AA and use that as a dating 12-step. I always had this group back in Florida called Dating Anonymous, which people would come visit me in my house, and we would have a small little once-a-week therapy group and talk about our dating life. And it was okay to be single, and if we didn't find someone, it was okay. And at the end of the day, we did the steps. And one of the steps was, take an inventory, a moral inventory of all the people, and call the guys up, the exes that meant the most to you. Say, look, I want to thank you for this, but can you tell me why you broke up with me?
Wow, really? Did you do this?
Yes. And you take a moral inventory, and the ones that really hurt you and broke your heart, even if they're married now with 5 babies, you find the one thing you were looking for, because the question mark that spins in your brain that you don't know why, you just keep repeating that pattern over and over again, breaks the pattern. The other thing is to take a inner child exercise, which is what
the inner child work.
I did that this last year, and so I couldn't understand.
Can you explain that for people, what inner child work is?
When you're growing up, there's usually a trauma of something that happened in your childhood.
Even if you think your life is perfect,
Yeah.
you had a trauma,
Right.
believe me.
And this trauma dictated the road for you in your relationships. For instance, if you never got the cheerleader in high school and you were always searching for the cheerleader, you made a lot of money to get the cheerleader when you're the gold digger when you're later in life. And so in my case, my dad told me at 11 I made him lose all his money. He was drunk. He was a big alcoholic.
He told you that.
And he pointed his finger at me, and I must have downloaded it into my computer. I remember I'm 11 years old. And from that moment on, I took every wounded bird in the road home with me. Well, this last year, it shook me to the core that I remembered that through hypnosis, through meditation, through attracting a soulmate. And I went, holy shit, I don't have to do that anymore. And I will never take a man who's not qualified enough to date me, who's not at my level.
Right,
Water seeks its own level. I will look for my water level.
Right.
And he's not going to be a multimillionaire. He's going to be a guy who's successful, good with his money, and shares and is generous.
And he doesn't need you to fix anything.
No,
and you don't want to
I
change
don't
him.
want
And
to
at
fix.
this point,
I can't fix anyone, and I'm not here to rescue you. If I have to rescue you, we're not a match.
Right.
Sorry.
I just had guys typically who wanted to change me in ways.
Oh, I have everybody wants to change me.
Like, I love all this crazy about you, but like maybe you could just stay home and turn off
Stay
your
out
phone
of
and
the
not do
purse.
anything.
Stay out of your purse.
Yeah. Mine
For 10
was
minutes.
First.
mine was like, I love all the fact that you're interesting and you're funny, and when we go to an event, you're just fascinating, but can you shut up?
Right.
And I was like, shut
it.
up. I'm like, you picked a chatty person. And then if I go quiet, you ever do the days, like she's a Gemini like me, Emily. So if you go quiet for 3 days and your boyfriend looks, what's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? I'm like, no, I'm just being quiet for the next 3 days. I really don't feel like talking.
Right.
I'm in a Zen mode. What happened? I'm
The
like,
second
oh
you
my
pull back.
God, you're telling me to shut up. I finally fucking shut up. And now you're telling me to keep talking. What the fuck do you want?
That would be shocking, though, if you
Yeah.
just went quiet for 3 days.
I've
Patty.
done that.
It would be bizarre.
I've done that. I've just like quite, we talk, but we didn't have conversations, and I was just like, I feel I'm tired. I've been working. I'm tired.
I totally got it.
Could
had a
I-
boyfriend. Yeah.
could I ask a question?
Please, Anderson, ask away.
For the listener, like who might be listening in her car or her cubicle, who she might consider herself overweight, homely. She's very nervous about dating, but she's lonely. Like, what would you say?
Well, the first thing you want to do
her.
is get to the gym, not to lose weight, to let the endorphins rush, basically, which makes you happy.
And you get addicted to those, too.
Happy people find happy other people. So happy is contagious. Depression is contagious. And the endorphins are rushing. Yes, you'll lose weight as a side byproduct, but you really should be doing it to keep yourself sane. And it alleviates depression. You sleep better at night, which, by the way, sleep is one of the God-given gifts for dating. People don't realize sleep is everything. And the thing is, most people are really unhappy. So if you start off unhappy, you're going to meet an unhappy person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like you meet to have a person you want to attract. You want to get to your
I
best
gained,
possible.
I gained
place.
I gained about 10 pounds in the last 3 weeks, and I was really unhappy with myself today. And I was like, you know what? I just got to get back to the gym. So I opened my app up on Equinox. I booked a class, for tomorrow, and I'm just gonna.
love that
You don't
Equinox.
you don't think about it. You just do it. You don't worry what anyone else is thinking about you. That's another thing. I was always a lone rider. I was called, like my mother would say, she goes to the beat of her own drum, and this is my problem with her. She just doesn't do well in groups. And I was like, because I was like further ahead of the pack. I was like, I don't have time for you. And I wasn't the girl that had 55 friends. I had a few friends in each city that I traveled to or worked there or lived. And I was focused on my business. I was focused on growing my business, whether I was in school, what I was learning. I put my effort and energy into my interests. When you get into your interests, you become super magnetically attractive to the opposite sex because you're not focused on
Right, because you're not like,
you're
I don't
not in
need
heat.
You. Right.
You're not in heat.
Exactly. And they're attracted to strong women in some ways, although I want you to help me answer some emails from
Okay.
the listeners here, okay? Thank you, everybody, for emailing me. Feedback@sexwithemily.com. And I love you because I love that you've been listening lately, that I want to know your age and your name. We can change your name and how you listen and where you live. That's all. It's not too much to ask. Emily, I'm a beta male married to an alpha female. I can be bossy at times, but we butt heads often. My wife is very confrontational and enjoys a debate as long as she wins. This makes the relationship uncomfortable at times for both of us. I feel we do not have clear roles that we developed together. Could you please enlighten me on how to make a beta male with an alpha female successful? Brian.
Well, I think the first thing you have to do is go take the 5 languages of love test.
I was going to talk to you about that.
It's Dr. Gary Chapman's book. You can
Love
take it
it.
online for couples as well as singles. And I think you need to find her love language. When you find her love language and you give it to her and you tell her your love language, you will have lines of communication now open and you will both feel loved.
You think that could break
Yeah.
the alpha beta
Yes,
thing, even if she's
because-
not respecting him because he's more beta and she's
the
not?
love tanks are not filled up. That's the disrespect. That's the one where you're just disregarding each other's feelings. The love tanks aren't filled.
Okay, we talked about this briefly on our last show, but I do love, and I've talked about it here and there, but I think it is a great book to find out how we experience love. There's 5 ways, right? And
Yeah.
it's not that your partner has to experience them in the same
No,
ways.
no. He
You
has
just
to
need know.
love you. If you're
Gifts.
touched, like I'm touching gifts. So if someone touches me, like when I'm
You feel
crying or I'm happy or greets me with a hug or kisses my neck, I feel filled up for the day. Now, a lot of the men I've dated are words of affirmation. So I basically have to say, oh, honey, you look awesome today. Oh, how was your day at work? Oh, how do you feel? Like stupid stuff that you wouldn't think matter. And Pat Allen would say you would never ask a man how you feel. But a words of affirmation guy, you ask
you
how
look
you
great.
feel.
You look-
You ask him
feel-
how he feels. He wants to know that you care. So Cancer, sensitive men, Scorpios are sensitive. Water people are very sensitive. They want to know that you care. So
I think
feeling
it's a great
is important.
test. You could just go on their website and take it. That's a good one.
I would love
Okay,
to know
Brad.
their astrology also, what their planets are for me
they
to
could
figure
email
out
me
the
that.
hiccups there too.
Okay. I think that, I think that's a good one. I think that also, though, there is something about the alpha female. I have friends who are alpha.
Well,
They
alpha
dated
always tricks at beta, but there are alpha to magna alpha, and that's what you and I want. I'm attracted to magna alpha men, but I'm beta at home. I switch. I'm only alpha at work.
Me too. See, I'm
beta at home, and
I don't want it.
And I've been told like what happened to the alpha when you get home, and I'm like, once that door shuts, honey, I am total beta.
What would the alpha at home even look like? Like, I don't even know.
I can
Like,
never
just
boss
take care of
someone
myself,
around.
make my dinner, do something. I like guys who cook and take care
But
of
the
me.
magna alpha is usually an androgynous person. He can switch it to both sides, and he can actually diminish his alpha to a level that you can understand. Because when he's too alpha, beta woman, as well as alphas like us, back off. We're like, okay, there's no point in arguing. We may disagree here, but I'm going to let you have it. Like, we just know when to, concede, so to speak.
Okay. That's good. Thank you, Patty. Okay.
Something else I heard in that email, though, is she wants to win. And, like, I always wanted to win arguments when I was in relationships until I got married.
But he said she wants to win.
Yeah, that's what he said.
That's
so
his
maybe you gotta take that with a
interpretation.
grain of
That's
salt.
not her.
But
Exactly.
there is something to be said for that, because like once I got married, I realized I don't want to win. I just want to figure it out.
Do you want to
now.
be yes, or do you want to have a happy life?
Right.
Really?
I want
Yeah.
us to both see what the problem is and fix it, rather than win an argument.
But that's his perception is winning. That
Exactly.
Was he
That's
said
his
that.
one
She
side.
didn't say that. We would have to hear her side of the story. There's always two sides, and there's the truth.
Exactly. Okay. Sex with the ex. Hello, Emily. This is kind of embarrassing, but I've been having sex with my ex-boyfriend for 2 years. We dated. It didn't go well. After re-meeting and hanging out, we ended up enjoying each other's company. We have no other commitments, and we see each other regularly. And sex is always good, though I feel like I found myself wondering, how could I get him to fully commit to me? Should I just hold off on sex with him? It's one of those complicated relationships. Carolyn.
Well, you're with somebody 2.5 years, if not before you were having the sex. So you've known him a really long time. So the first thing you have to do is have a conversation, sober light of day, coffee, no cocktails, coffee, tea, whatever,
right.
Soberville, in a nice, well-lit place in the middle of the day. Okay? Quiet time, make an appointment and say to him, listen, there's something I need to talk to you about, okay? I really like you. I really care about you, but I'm in a place right now where I want to get serious with someone. I want to be monogamous. I want to get married, whatever it is. And I kind of let myself go by having sex because I'm so magnetically attracted to you. But this doesn't feel right for me to keep it in this position that it's in. How about we go to the next level? And if you're not interested, that's okay. I don't want to hold you up because I need to go find the right guy.
Right.
And you have to say this with a smile on your face, as though you're not attached to the outcome of the situation.
Exactly.
So there's no pressure.
No heavy situation.
No,
you don't
like,
have to say, hey,
you
we
did
need to
this and I
talk.
did that. None of that shit. And when you say that and you go, and then he's like, he's going to stutter because he's not expecting this to happen. This is like totally...
Because he's getting what he wants right now.
Right. You're shooting off, a gun. You're going to have to say, what's your plan? When you ask a man what's their plan, they have to think. You have to let that awkward pause stretch. He's going to need a big moment to process you. He might say, even I have to get back to you. That's okay, as long as you tell me when. But till you get back to me, we're not having sex. Okay? Because I'm in a place right now where I want to get serious. And if you don't want to get serious, that's cool. Just don't hold me up and I won't hold you up.
Right.
Patty,
and that's how you do it.
That's what my wife said to me. Yeah.
What'd she say
Is
to
that
you?
really what she said?
Like 5 years ago, she's like, what's your plan? What are you doing here? Until you figure it out, I don't even want to talk to you.
Right, exactly.
And then how long did it take
And
you?
I fucking freaked out.
What'd you do? Did you go home?
It was like a couple weeks, and I was like, all right, it's on.
You could take up to 8 weeks in this situation.
We moved in.
8 weeks is
Really?
what? Yes. 8 weeks is where it takes about 3-4 weeks for it to
Wow.
process where the man
Because men are
panics.
slower.
At the 6-week mark,
I'm
he's
quick.
lost his mind. At the 8-week mark, he's probably going to Tiffany's and getting you a ring. Now, if he doesn't do this, he was never your guy. He was probably switch hitting with somebody else. He was probably, perusing the internet. He had some backup girl worse than you. He might have 3 backup girls. You don't know his story. But if you don't know where he is on a Saturday fucking night,
Right.
he's got another girl.
It's true. It's totally
You're
true.
not priority night is Saturday night.
So
Date night.
by her, she thinks she's sleeping with him. She needs to ask him to define it. What do you
But
want?
it's
But no
not
pressure.
like,
Keep
but
it
here's
light.
the thing: you can't. Men are going to look at this like you're taking the cookie away. No, it's not. We're taking the cookie away. It's that we're at risk to oxytocin bond even stronger than we already have. So we have estrogen surging through our body up to about 40, 45, and then we have no control over this. We fall in love with a loser, the garbage attendant. We just can't help ourselves. So we are at risk. You are not. You have no oxytocin. You can sleep with us and let us go tomorrow. We need to protect ourselves. And unfortunately, that might mean not giving it up anymore.
Right. And Carolyn, it sounds like she has to do this because it's been 4 years now, on and off. I think that women do this because they think they want to change the guy. So I think this is great. Have the talk. And it worked for you. Would you have thought, though, Anderson, the day before she gave the talk to you, had the talk with you,
I
you
was
would have
living
moved with
the
her?
life of Riley. I was doing whatever I wanted. She lived in San Francisco. I knew that I loved her, but I was still a single guy with a person that I really cared about. And then when she just said, you know what, this isn't working for me, I kind of freaked out. And 2 weeks later, I said, all right, I'll get a place and let's move in. And she said no. She's like, fuck you. But then she came around.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean,
and
you
no
have to-
regrets. So
No.
it's
No
like
regrets.
the whole
It was
shit or
almost
get
like an
off the pot
ultimatum.
thing.
Almost like an
It's kind of
ultimatum.
like the shit or get off the pot thing. I was like, you never want to convince a man to get. But
Because
this
a
is a
guy's going
different
to
way of
continue
doing
to
it.
do whatever he wants. And
he
have
is
it, as long
there's
as
a
you're giving it.
So
reason that
interesting.
men are dogs. Okay, dogs don't know when to stop eating. Think about that. You put food in front of a dog till it's every
So
5
true.
minutes. It's going to eat everything you put. You put a cat in the same position, it will eat what it wants. He's finicky and walks away. Women are cats. Men are dogs. Women know what they want. Okay, and men don't. So until you show a man what he wants, he doesn't fucking know.
Well, a man wants everything, too. And they'll take everything if you give it to them.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So you're giving them food constantly. You take away the food, he's now going to go running after you and hump your leg and sleep in your bed till you give him more food. You understand? He's not leaving you to go find more food. He's coming towards you. You were the food giver. You understand?
Most
But he could
nutritious.
also go the other way and be like, well,
I
she
just like my
wasn't really
junk
the
food,
right.
yeah.
Because he could also say, you know what?
But
I'm
you
just
want to
having
figure
fun
that
with
out anyways,
Okay,
right?
it's
You want to
very-
figure that
so
out
either
sooner or
way,
later.
she's gonna find out.
This is over. Listen, this guy has been sleeping for over 2 years as an ex. What were they like even before that? So let's say there's 4 years here. We'll just use as an estimate, 2 and 2.
Right.
Okay, that's a long ass time for him to lose his cookie, his nookie. Okay, he's now you're taking the magic wand away from him.
God forbid someone takes a magic wand
He's
away.
not going to sleep good at night. You understand? He's not going to. And most men are lazy lions. They're creatures of habit. They're not going to want to go out on the prowl and look for more goodies because they've got their laundry done. She's cooking, she's cleaning, and she's fucking. Now that's a lot. That's a tall order. But girl, you better know your worth. That's
Right.
the key.
That's the thing.
That's
Like,
the key.
she's
Do
doing
you
a-
know how much you're worth? Okay, if you don't know your worth on the open market, you're screwed.
Love it. Okay, Patty, thank you so much. Patty, okay, so here's the thing. People can find you in a few weeks at the Great Love Debate.
Oh, yeah, Great Love Debate, Laguna Beach. Do I have my information here? Sorry. Okay, so Great Love Debate. We're going to be there on. There's no date. Oh, here we got it.
September 2nd.
Great Love Debate. We're going to be there. It's September 2nd at the Laguna Playhouse in Laguna. It's $40 for regular registration and $75 for VIP. Please go by at greatlovedebate.com. We are going to be talking to you, taking your questions in person. There'll be a little VIP area. You can get a selfie with me. You can buy some of my products. You can ask me a personal question by the side. We're going to spend a lot of time. Laguna is a great place, and a lot of millionaires will be showing up. A lot of millionaires will be showing
Oh my
up.
God, I'm coming.
Yeah.
I'm coming, Patty. Even
coming.
though, we'll see how that goes with Fix Me Up with Millionaires. Okay, and then also your wine. I used to be serving your wine.
Yes, I have a new wine ad. It'll be hitting all the grocery stores starting in September. But right
Congratulations.
now, you can get it nationwide at wine.com and several grocery chains, small grocery chains, and a little bit of some of the wine boutiques. But wine.com is the best place. I have a sweet red sparkling from Italy, and I have a crisp green apple Chardonnay from Napa. You got to chill both. It's amazing, these wines. I have been using other people's wines for years in my mixers and in my events, and it's like finally I got my own product.
Good for you. You need your own.
Yeah,
you need your own wine.
I owned part of Taikusaki. I got in the liquor industry because of that, and I fell in love with it. It was a little bit of a male-driven product. This product is unisex. It has aphrodisiac properties in it.
It does?
It makes you juicy-goosey and woody-shitty, and it's a really great thing to have in your house, if not to give a hostess gift for the summer. And both of them need to be chilled, and you're just going to fall in love with it.
Oh my God, I
Yeah,
love
it's
it.
PS
And fall in love
Match,
with drinking
and you
it.
can go to psmatch.com and find out about the information and the ingredients and the alcohol content.
Awesome. And we'll have all this on our website as well. Thank you, Patty Stanger, for being
Thank you.
Millionaire Matchmaker for being on the show. Thank you, Anderson. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Madison. Okay,
Thanks
we're
for
out.
having me.
Okay, everyone, thanks for listening. Was it good for you? Email me, feedback@sexwithemily.com. Okay, people, I have to tell you about the number one sex toy for men. It is the fleshlight. And you know what? It's the only one you really want. Let's be honest, okay? Wouldn't it be amazing if you could feel the pleasure of having sex any time that you wanted, even when you don't have a partner? And I'm not saying it's going to replace your partner. I'm just saying, and I don't have a penis, but every guy I know has tried this fleshlight. Is like, holy shit. It feels different than my hand. It feels different than having sex with someone. It's just mixing it up. I've got 1,000 vibrators, okay? You can have one fleshlight and have a different kind of orgasm, and then you let me know what you think, okay? Not one person who's bought a fleshlight ever said, Emily, why did you make me buy that fleshlight? My penis really hurt. No. They're like, wow, where's the fleshlight been my entire life? So go to sexwithemily.com, click on the fleshlight banner, use code Emily, and you get a bottle of their award-winning flesh lube. Because really, what is a fleshlight without flesh lube? Anyway, check it out at sexwithemily.com and get your free bottle of flesh lube. Use code Emily. Thanks for listening.